Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj ki jai. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Sai Karnananda Maharaj ki jai. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Jagat Guru Bal Yugraj Sai Nara Maharaj ki jai. Sai Leelavati Mata ki jai. Shri Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 43. Baba's passing away continued. Preparation, Samadhi Mandir, breaking of the brick, 72 hours Samadhi, Jog Sannyas, Baba's nectar like words. Chapter 43 and 44 continue the story of Baba's passing away, and therefore they are taken together. Previous preparation. It is general practice amongst the Hindus that when a man is about to die, some good religious scriptures is read out to him with the object that his mind should be withdrawn from worldly things and fixed in spiritual matters so that his future progress should be natural and easy. Everybody knows that when King Parikshit was cursed by the son of Brahmin, Rishi, and was to die after a week, the great sage Shukdev expounded to him the famous Bhagavad Puran in that week. This practice is followed even now, and the Gita, Bhagavad, and other sacred books are read out to dying persons. Baba, being an incarnation of God, needed no such help, but just to set an example to the people, he followed the practice. When he knew that he was to pass away soon, he asked one Mr. Weiss to read Ram Vijay to him. Mr. Weiss read the book once in the week. Then Baba asked him to read the same again day and night, and he finished the second reading in 3 days. Thus, 11 days passed. Then again he read for 3 days and was exhausted. So Baba let him go and kept himself quiet. He abided in himself and was waiting for the last moment. 2 or 3 days earlier, Baba had stopped his morning peregrinations, going out and begging around, and said quietly in the masjid. He was conscious till the last and was advising the devotees not to lose heart. He let nobody know the exact time of his departure. Kakasai Dikshit and Shriman Bhuti was dining daily with him in the masjid. That day, 15th October, after the aarti, he asked them to go to their residence for dining. Still a few is Lakshman Shinde, Bhagoji Shinde, Bahaji, Lakshman Balashimpi and Nana Sahib with Nimonkar remained there. Shama was sitting down on the steps after giving rupees 9 to the Lakshmi Bai. Baba said that he don't feel that well there in the masjid and that he should be taken to the Dagdi, stone, vada of Booty, where he would be alright. While saying these last words, he leaned on Bayaji's body and breathed his last. Bagoji noticed that his breath had stopped and he immediately told this to Nana Sahib Nimonkar, who was sitting near. Nana Sahib brought some water and poured it in Baba's mouth. It came out, then he cried out loudly, "Oh Deva!" Baba seemed to open his eyes and say, "Ah," in a low tone. But it soon became evident that Baba had left his mortal body for good. The news of Baba's passing away spread like a wildfire in the village of Shri, and all people, men and women and children, ran to the masjid and began to mourn this loss in various ways. Some cried out loudly, some wallowed on, and some fell down senseless in the streets, and tears ran down from the eyes of all, and everyone was filled with sorrow. Some people started remembering the words of Sai Baba. Somebody said that Maharaj Sai Baba told his devotees that in time to come he would appear as a lad of 8 years. These are the words of Sen, and hence nobody should take doubt about them, because in the Krishna avatar, Chakrapani, Lord Vishnu performed this very deed. Krishna appeared before Devaki in the prison as a lad of 8 years, who had bright complexion and who wielded weapons in his forearms. In that incarnation, Lord Krishna, lightened the burden of the earth. This incarnation, Sai Baba, was of the uplift of his devotees. Then where is a reason for doubt? The ways of the saints are really inscrutable. This contact of Sai Baba with his devotees is not only for one generation, but it is there for a last 22, 72 years generation. Generating such ties of love, it Appears that Maharaj Sai Baba has gone for tour, and the devotees had a firm belief that he will return soon. Then the question arose how to lay Baba's body to rest. Some Mohammedans said that the body should be interred in the open space and tomb built over it, and even Koshalchand Amir Shakas shared this opinion. But Ramchandra Patil, the village officer, said to the villagers, "If with a firm and determined voice your thought is not acceptable to us, Baba's body should be placed now nowhere except in the Vada." Thus, people were divided into this point, and discussion regarding this went on for 36 hours. On the Wednesday morning, Baba appeared to the Lakshman Mama Joshi in his dream and drawing him to his hand said, "Get up soon, Bapu Sahib thinks that I am dead, so he won't come. You do the worship and the Kakad morning Aarti." Lakshman Mama was the village astrologer and the maternal uncle of Shama. He was an orthodox Brahmin and a daily worshipped Baba first in the morning and then all the village deities. He had full faith in Baba. After the vision, he came with all the puja materials and not minding the protest of the Maulvis, did the puja and the Kakad Aarti with all due formalities and went away. Then at noon, Bapu Sahib Joe came with all others and went through the noon Aarti ceremony as usual. After paying due respect to Baba's words, the people decided to place his body in the Vada and they started digging the central portion there. In the evening of Tuesday, the sub-inspector came from Rahata and other turned up from another places and they all agreed to the proposal. Next morning, Amir Bhai came from the Mumbai and the Mamladar from Kopargaon. The people seemed divided in their opinions. Some insisted on entering his body in the open field. The Mamladar therefore took a general plebiscite and found that proposal to use the Vada secured double the number of votes. He, however, wanted to refer the matter to the collector, and Kaka Sahib Dikshit got himself ready to go to Ahmednagar. In the meanwhile, by Baba's inspiration, there was a change in the opinion of the other people, and all the people unanimously voted for the proposal. On Wednesday evening, Baba's body was taken in the procession and brought to the Vada and was interned there with the due formalities in the Garbha, that is the central portion reserved for the Murlidhar. In fact, Baba became the Murlidhar and the Vada became the temple and the whole holy shrine where so many devotees since then have been going to find rest and peace. All the obsequiousness of Baba were duly performed by Balasaheb Bhate and Upasani, a great devotee of Baba. It may be noted here that as observed by Professor Narke, Baba's body did not get stiff though it was exposed for 36 hours and that all the limbs were elastic and that his kafni could be taken out without being torn to pieces. Breaking of the brick. Some day before Baba's departure, there occurred a ominous sign foreboding the event. There was in the masjid the old brick on which Baba rested his hand and sat. At night time, he leaned against it and had his asan when this went for many years. One day during the Baba's absence, a boy who was sweeping the floor took up in his hand and unfortunately it slipped and fell down and got broken into two pieces. When Baba came to know about this, he bemoaned its loss, saying, "It is not the brick but my fate that has been broken into pieces. It is my lifelong companion. With it, I always meditated on the self. It was dear to me as my life. It has left me today." Some may raise their question, why should Baba express the sorrow for such an inanimate thing as a brick? To this, Hemarpan replies that sense incarnate in this world with express mission of saving the poor, helpless people, and when they embody themselves and act with the people, they act like them. That is, outwardly they laugh, play, cry like all other people, but inwardly they are wide awake to their duties and mission. 72 has Samadhi. 32 years before this, that is 1886 80, Baba made an attempt to cross the borderline on the Margashish Purnima full moon day. Baba suffered from a severe attack of asthma. To get rid of it, Baba decided to take his pran high up and go into samadhi. He said to the Bhagat Malsapati, protect my body for 3 days. If I return, it will be all right. If I do not bury my body in that open land, pointing to it and fix two flags there as a mark. After saying this, Baba fell down at about 10 p.m. This breathing stopped as well as his pulse. It seemed as if this prana left the body. All the people, including the villagers, came there and wanted to hold an inquest and bury the body in the place pointed by the Baba. But Malsapati prevented this. With Baba's body on the lap, he sat full 3 days guarding it. After 3 days passed, Baba showed the signs of life at 3 a.m. His breathing commenced, the abdomen began to move, his eyes opened and stretching his limbs, and Baba returned to consciousness, life again. From this and other accounts that the readers considers whether Sai Baba was a 3.5 cubits body, but he occupied for some years, and that he left thereafter, or he was a self inside. The body composed of its five elements is perishable and transient, but the self within is the thing, absolute reality, which is immortal and inconsistent. This pure being consciousness or Brahma, the ruler, the controller, and the senses and the mind is a Sai. This pervades all things in the universe and there is no space without it. For fulfilling his mission, he assumed the body and after it was fulfilled, he threw away the body, the infinite aspect, and assumed his infinite aspect. Sai ever lives also was as also the previous incarnations of God, Dattatreya, Shri Saraswati of Gangapur. His passing away is only an outward aspect, but in reality he pervades all animate and inanimate things and is in their inner controller and ruler. This can be and is even now experienced by many who surrender themselves completely to him and worship him with wholehearted devotion. Though it is not possible for us to see Baba's form now onwards, but if we go to Shri and we shall find his beautiful life like portrait and adorning the masjid. This has been done by Shamrao Jaikar, a famous artist and well-known devotee of Baba, to an imaginative and a devout inspector. This portrait can give even today the satisfaction of taking Baba's darshan. Though Baba has no gross body now, he lives there and everybody, everywhere, and will affect the welfare of the devotees even now. And he was doing before when he was embodied. Sense like Baba never died, though they look like man, they are in reality God himself. Bapu Sahib Jog Sannyas. Himadban closes this chapter with the account of Jog Sannyas. Sakaram Hari alias Bapu Sahib Jog was the uncle of the famous Varkari Vishnu Bua Jog of Pune. He had no issue after this retirement from the government of service. He was a supervisor in the PWD in 1909 AD. He came and lived in the city with his wife. Both the husband and wife loved Baba and spent all their time in worshipping and serving Baba. After Megha's death, Babu Sahib daily did the Aarti ceremony in the masjid and Chavri till Baba's Mahasamadhi. He was also entrusted with the work of reading and explaining Dhaneshwari and Ekanathi Bhagavad in Sateswada to the audience. After serving for many years, Jog asked Baba, I have served you so long. My mind is not yet calm and composed. How is it that my contact with sense has not improved me? When will you bless me? Hearing the Bhakta's prayer, Baba replied, in due time, your bad actions, your fruit of or result will be destroyed. Your merits and demerits will be reduced to ashes, and I shall consider you blessed. And when you will renounce all attachments, conquer lust and sense of taste, and getting rid of all impediments, serve God wholeheartedly and resort to the begging bowl, accept sannyas. After some time, Baba's words came true. His wife predeceased him, and as he had no other attachment, he became free and accepted sannyas before his death and realized the goal of his life. Baba's nectar-like words, the kind and merciful Sai Baba said many a time the following sweet words in the masjid: He who loves me most always sees me. The whole world is desolate to him without me. And he who tells no stories but mine, he ceaselessly meditates upon me and always chants my name. I feel indebted to him who surrenders himself completely to me and ever remembers me. I shall repay his debt by giving him salvation, self-realization. I am dependent on him who thinks and hungers after me and who does not eat anything without first offering it to me. He who thus comes to me becomes one with me. Thus a river gets into the sea and becomes much one with it. And so, leaving out pride and egoism and with no trace of them, you should surrender yourself to me who is seated in your heart. Who is me? Sai Baba expounded many a time who this me or I is. He said, "You need not go far in search of me. Bearing your name and form, there exists in you and as well as in all beings a sense of being, a consciousness of existence. That is myself. Knowing this, you see me inside yourself as well as in all beings. If you practice this, you will realize all pervasiveness and thus attain oneness with me." Himarpan therefore requests the readers humbly and for lovingly that they should love and respect all God sent and devotees. Has not Baba often said, "He who carps and cavils in others persists me in the heart and endures me, but he that suffers and endures pleases me most." Baba thus pervades all beings and creatures and besets them on all sides. He likes nothing but love to all beings. Such nectar, pure, auspicious ambrosia, always flowed from Baba lips. He therefore concludes, "Those who lovingly sing Baba's stream and those who hear the same with devotion both become one with Sai." Go to Shri Sai, peace be to all. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Sainand Maharaj ki jai. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Sai Karnananda Maharaj ki jai. Shri Satchidananda Sadguru Jagat Guru Bal Yogiraz Sai Nara Maharaj ki jai. Sai Leelavati Mata ki jai. Om Sai Ram.